when I'm calling him to come to me, I always follow a couple of very simple rules, and I'll break them down for you here. If I'm walking him, for example, I'm just letting him be free and making sure the leash is loose. And if he goes out beyond 5 feet or so, before the leash gets tight, you just do a little prompt like that, and it keeps him in the zone. And pretty soon, that's all he does, is he stays in that zone around you, so you're not constantly doing it anymore. This kind of stuff makes him pull away from you and would create pulling and create more stress, and you would lose control because he'd just wig out. So you always keep the leash loose. If I'm going to call him to come to me, and I'm always keeping it on my left hand like that, because I use my right hand as a target with a little reward, and I call him to this. So I'm always going to call him away from something or somebody. I never call him when he's just staring at me lovingly like this, because that's not a real life situation. The real life situation is when he's going to be running away, going over to smell something gross on the ground, something he wants to grab or whatever, and you want him to be very used to hearing that command and breaking away and coming back to you. So that's why I always practice calling him when at least he looks away or is headed away from me like that. Come. Good. So what I did was left hand leash, right hand reward. It's in a fist, because see how he's walking away from me again? Come. This time I have no food. Good boy. And if I don't have food, I'm just going to love him up, because sometimes, of course, you're going to have an emergency and you have to get him away from something or get him to come to you, and you just pretend like you have food. And if you use food every time you can practice with food, then when you don't have food, it'll still work really well. That's why we have a closed hand. If you call him to a half open hand or whatever, he's going to see it's empty. So always call him to this target, always, whether it's got food in it or not. And of course, you want to use treats for in the next few weeks before you start phasing the food out. That's what I did. So the other really important thing to do is come, back away. See, when you back away, good. He rushes to you. Standing still is not half as good. And moving towards him, of course, will chase him away from you. If you try to get him, he's going to run away. So when you back away, it draws him to you. Come. Good. And what I'm doing is I've got my little reward here, and I'm just drawing the leash through I have it between my pinky and my middle finger. And I'm just saying, come, and drawing him over to me. Good, and he gets that treat. It's going to be a closed hand still. He gets a treat. And then you have the leash, and so it doesn't get all tangled up. So you can do that too, practice that. Of course, you can practice on a longer line too. If you have a 10-foot long line, practice longer distance recalls, but don't do it until you've got it down on a 6-foot leash, of course. Then you can practice longer distance ones with a longer leash. That's how you do it, and nothing is ever repeated. And of course, if he ignores you for some reason, you just do little prompts and back away. Good. And he'll respond. So we never repeat the command. If you start repeating the command, it'll dilute the power of the command, and he'll start ignoring you the first time you say it. That's why we only say things once. Okay, buddy.